Hello, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to our program today, Living in Balance. Every once in a while, we are privileged to bring to you one of the holy men from one of the great world religions. And today we do have with us Geshe Sopa, who will share with us the teachings and the love of the Buddha. Come join us, Living in Balance on Shakti-Hill. At the age of 9, Geshe Sopa did enter the study of Buddhism, and he now comes to us as a professor emeritus from the University of Wisconsin. We are very privileged to have Geshe Sopa with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We are going to talk today of the love of the Buddha. We are going to talk about the teachings of the Buddha, and we have a beautiful picture of the golden Buddha. And you have devoted your life to sharing the teachings of the Buddha. Tell us a little bit about that, Geshe.
Yes, as you mentioned, once I was 9 years old, to become monk. And the main thing is in the monastery studying the Buddhist prayers and then scriptures, and then later much more advanced study philosophical Buddhist deeper teachings.
Yes.
And there are so many levels of the teachings. And the classes have taken many years.
Oh, yes.
I have been actually about 20 years to taking different classes and then studying various special great teachers.
Well, because of your studies, it is the Dalai Lama who is the head of the Buddhist religion, of the Tibetan Buddhists. And tell us a little bit about every time I see his picture, he is always smiling. He's almost like he's ready to laugh. He has such a countenance about him. And he is the embodiment of the Buddha
Yes,
today?
he is the embodiment of we call it Avalokiteshvara, is the Sanskrit word. This is actually, in English, maybe the perfect Buddha of the compassion. And manifested as human form.
Oh, okay.
Human
so
form, right?
The compassion of the Buddha in the human form.
Human form.
That is
right.
the Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama is like that, yes. And in Tibet, we have special kind of, with the connection with the Avalokiteshvara from the very beginning of the 7th century to all the way, special connection. We have country itself also devoted to the Avalokiteshvara.
So since the 7th century, there has been the lineage of the Dalai Lama. Is he the 14th?
He is the 14th.
14th Dalai Lama.
Yes. Right.
And he is the one who spreads all of the love and compassion of the Buddha and the Tibetan people throughout the world. Yes.
Yeah, I think that is fortunately he was able to come out in India free from communist rule. So now he has a very freedom. He has started his called Geshe. Geshe means like religious way of professor, great Geshe. So he had all these studies done before.
Yes.
So now in India, of course he established the exiled government, small government of Tibet, and whoever escaped from country, he supports and he rules. And then in addition is he goes now everywhere in the world teaching the message of the Buddha and universal love and compassion. He's the main key emphasis on that in the world.
But if we go back to your early days, you were at the Sera Monastery in Tibet, and that's where you did your studies. And then you too spent time there, and as you said, that was when you learned the teachings. And we have some pictures from that. Does it, do you feel sad when you see where you had to flee from, the beauty of your monastery there in Tibet? The paintings? I bet that hurts your heart.
Yes. That was the place where most of my life spent there. So therefore, when you see the pictures, it's just very, very sorrow or sad. Yes.
And there's beautiful paintings on the rock. So it was a beautiful place for you to be.
Yes. This monastery has over 5,000 monks, and studying and all Buddhist philosophy. And beautiful, yes.
Now, do all of the followers of Buddhism for a while study as a monk, or once you are a monk for the rest of your life?
Monks, they try to, once you become monk, whole life, because the monk's vow is the life vow. It's not temporary. So therefore, although there is a different tradition, sometimes it's like Thailand or somewhere, another vow, just short vow. But Tibetan is this vow is a life vow, so therefore try to keep whole life. Although of course sometimes monks may fail down. That's exists. That sometimes imperfect there. But they generally, of course, monks whole life spent.
So you started at 9 years old, and then you did your study at the Sera Monastery. Now that was where you had to flee from when the Chinese came into Tibet. You were at the monastery.
Sera Monastery. Yes.
And you did flee, and the Dalai Lama was able to be free at that time, and also he did flee.
He left and he freed, and then after that many followed. I was also right after 3 days after he left, then I was able to leave. I heard some news, so then immediately left.
Well, you know there are many movies recently that have been made about the story of the Dalai Lama and his fleeing and his days in Tibet. Have you watched all of the movies? There are 7 days in Tibet.
I think once I saw 7 days of that one, and then one is Kundun. Both of them just once.
Are they pretty accurate?
Yeah, pretty accurate. Of course, there are some small here and there. Of course, that is the certain culturally or certain natures. Some small things, but the general thing is good. Yes, very good.
Well, one of the things that you were honored with was you actually were one of the teachers who tested the Dalai Lama when he was going through his degree program and his studies, and you were one that was able to to test the Dalai Lama when he became the Geshe, which is like a PhD, doctorate of philosophy. So how was that? You knew he was the embodiment of the Buddha, and you were there to see if he had done his studies?
That is the when he many years studied, and then finally when he took Geshe examination, then the country system is this great, from these great monasteries, many famous scholars, they have to select it, scholars from the abbot, and then to examine to him, for him. So therefore he has to take whole day, morning session, noon session, evening session. So each of them, certain great scholars have to go and then tested him, asking him questions and debating. So one of them, I was fortunate.
You were one of the scholars that tested the Dalai Lama. Now, he did pass.
Oh, yeah, there's no problem. Right.
That's very good. We like to know that, that he was a good student. Now, as you then, one of the honors that you got when you were doing your testing for the high degrees of your studies, you ranked highest among those who were tested, and then you were asked to bring 3 reincarnated lamas to the United States because you had tested so high. Now, tell me about that. You left India at that time, and you came to New Jersey?
It was in 1962, and then right after my examination finished. And in New Jersey, there was the Buddhist monastery, which is Mongolian, famous Geshe, and who asked to Dalai Lama to send some younger lamas, reincarnated lamas, who can stay in the monastery, study English. That time, Tibetan lamas, young lamas, to studying a little more English.
Yes.
And so therefore he asked to send 3 lamas. So one of the lamas, my student also. So therefore they went to America. So His Holiness asked me to go with them. They should educate to the Western way of the English language, etc. Same time, stay in the monastery, education, Buddhist education, they should have continue. So therefore, please, you should go.
Yes.
So he was asking me to come. So then I came to New Jersey.
Yeah, so the Dalai Lama asked you to come.
Right.
Now, how did you feel about leaving that culture and coming to a whole new and different culture?
Well, there was the first I didn't know the culture probably going far away, so I felt I don't want to go there. I wish to stay.
Yes.
But then, of course, His Holiness told me and asked me, so therefore I didn't have choice, so I came. But now, when looking back, I think wonderful that happened.
Yes,
very
when
good.
His Holiness asks, then you really have to say yes.
Yes.
And then your journey took you on to Wisconsin, to the university there. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to share a little bit more about you and your journey here, but also some of the beautiful teachings of love and compassion of the Buddha.
All right, okay.
So if you will stay tuned, we will be right back with Geshe Sopa. If you are just joining us, we are talking to Geshe Sopa. For 35 years, he has shared the wisdom and the love of the Buddha here in the United States, and so we are so pleased to have him with us. And we were just mentioning that it was in Wisconsin, and we have a picture of you in Wisconsin at the university that you were teaching then. So you have had then a purpose of sharing the wisdom of the Buddha to the university students.
Yes. I think first I went to New Jersey monastery, then the university professor of the Buddhist studies asked to come to teach there. So since then, I have been all these 30-some years teaching Buddhist philosophy, and also along that Tibetan language, philosophical language, both of them teaching.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm glad to, one way, what I many years studied, and that is able to share with the university students.
Well, that way, and there is always the fear that a language will not survive if it is not shared and taught.
Right.
And so you're able to keep the Tibetan language alive by sharing it. Yes.
Right, language and Tibetan tradition, religion, Buddhism, and Buddhist philosophy, all of them. And I was able to produce quite a few of the professors, and also they are now teaching different universities, and so I think that was very good.
Yes. So it was good that the Dalai Lama, His Holiness, had you come. Now you are at the monastery at Deer Park, Wisconsin, and you have retired. But I ask you to tell me a little bit about the monastery life there and what you do on the daily basis, and about, do people come there as visitors too?
Now this monastery in Wisconsin, we have small place where I always stay as a form of like monastery. Since I've been monk, so there will always be kind of monastery life. So now this here, we have presently 7 monks there, and the living quarter of monks in that the Deer Park Center. But that center also monks living quarter. Not only that, then we have temple and the program for public. So they will, every Sunday people come to listen the teaching. Every Sunday I teach, and sometimes other Geshes, and also every Thursday night also teaching.
So you are
every week, yes.
always a teacher.
Right,
Yes.
teaching. Then I go to different places here and there, yes.
Well, I went to the internet and we found websites that have much of your teachings on them. And I was so pleased that the internet is able to have the wisdom from Geshe Sopa. And I read and enjoyed a presentation that you had done, and I think it was back in 1980, but you shared that there are the inner enemies that we need to always work against, and that is 3 that you shared were ignorance, hatred, and attachments. Yes.
Yes, that's good. That is the Buddhist, one of the teaching, and also called the 3 poisons. These are the ignorance, then attachment, and hatred. And they produce many other type of the mental delusion, jealousy, etc.
Yes, but they are poisons.
All of them poisons. But the rudimentary main thing is 3 poisons. So therefore, all Buddha's teaching aimed to at these 3 how to get rid of. For that purpose, many kind of meditational techniques taught.
Because that is true of the human nature. It doesn't matter whether you're a Buddhist or a Christian or a Hindu. These are things that are our inner enemies.
Inner enemy, right,
Yes.
right. Everybody frustrating, getting angry, and out of one's own selfish where attachment to self, and because that hatred, others, jealousy, etc. And from that, so many actions and participate negative actions throughout the world. So therefore, if people have able to control these first inner enemies, and then by way of developing high universal love and compassion and wisdom, which is the ultimate truth, which is ignorance, is the basic truth. Root of attachment, hatred. So in order to get that ignorance, and then we say direct realization of the called ultimate truth or shunyata, that is called wisdom. So wisdom is the direct antidote of the ignorance.
Yes.
So the ignorance which we talking, Buddhists is talking, is the generally ignorance. There are little ignorance here and there, but the main ignorance is the egotistic, egocentric view, where the selfish attitude all the time rising, and which people make all these mistakes, all these.
So the wisdom will come out of the ignorance, which gives us the egotism, the I.
Right,
yes.
right.
That's what we are fighting, isn't it? And we can reach love and compassion through that wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom and the seeing the faults of the attachment and the hatred and the result. So therefore, and you in replace of attachment, hatred, and then you replace the universal love and compassion.
Universal love and compassion.
Okay.
Meditation helps us to find that quiet place within, and we need to do that in order to open to the wisdom. How important is the meditation?
Yeah, meditation, of course, meditation means not only just a single point mind. Meditation have 2 major meditation. One is kind of mental stabilization, mind focus wherever you, once you wanting to focus, able to stay as long as you wish, spontaneously. That is one training. And the other ones with that mind, then analytical meditation. analytical meditation has many ways analyzing, thinking, many reasons, many different angles. Then you able to strong that kind of. If you develop, for example, universal love or compassion to all sentient beings, you can produce compassion without analytical. Just I love to sentient beings. I love. That will
That won't do it.
That will never rise.
Okay, so we have to analyze.
Why reason, analyze.
Okay, that is the
what
wisdom.
is the problem with the sentient beings, and then wanting to free from those misery, suffering, cause of them.
Yes.
And they need peace and happiness, highest enjoyment, emancipation, how to develop. That is the analytical meditation. So we have to think, sort it out in the meditation technique. Mostly meditation, the analytical meditation. Meditation, impermanence. Yeah, meditation,
Yes,
universal
that word
love,
impermanence, yes.
meditation and patience, patient. That will not work.
We have some beautiful artwork that I want to bring up, and one of the things we have here is just a lovely Tibetan stonework, we thought. And we also have one that has 3 beautiful symbols, and one in the center is the symbol of the mandala. Does that not teach, when you do the beautiful sand mandalas and spend so many hours, that is the lesson in impermanence?
Yeah, when at the end to finish it, then you wiped out. That is the one way to showing impermanence.
Well, for the people who haven't seen that, I have seen where they've spent the days creating the beautiful, perfect mandala, the beautiful sandwork, and then
yes, one day, then everything wiped out,
just blown to the wind,
into the water. Yes, that is the.
But that teaches that impermanence.
Yes.
There are so many beautiful lessons, and it is such a gift for you to be here. You have just a little blessing you're going to give us, would you, in Tibetan?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will say, Yangbe Jagam Jidang, Yunjungder, Nemu Tukzu Laso, Minjungsing, Donam Chenjo, Deke Tsowadang, Pinzo Benjo Lekso, Jachuruji.
Oh, I thank you.
Right. All right.
I asked if you would do a special blessing for us, and you said in English or Tibetan, and I said, what a gift if it was in Tibetan. So
thank you.
I do thank you.
All right. Thank you very
nice
much.
For you to
thank
have
you
been
very
with
much
us.
too.
Yes.
All right.
So if you would like to be in touch with the Geshe Sopa and learn more about the movement of the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, please stay tuned. What a blessing it has been to have the wisdom and the love of the Buddha shared by Geshe Sopa with us today. And when we do find that we are all connected, we all have those same inner enemies, and we all can respond to universal love and compassion. Until next time, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.